Right, well, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to review the latest episode of the Book of Boba Fett. So, if you're new here, hit subscribe, turn bell notifications on. If you're a returning subscriber, check your bell notifications are turned on. We're going to talk full spoilers here. Quick non-spoiler review, though. It was really good. It was a really, really good episode. I'm excited for... I think we've only got one more episode left. And I'm excited for how this sets up, The Mandalorian Season 3 and just everything. There's interesting stuff afoot, ladies and gents. So there's my non-spoiler review. But let's talk spoilers. You've been warned, ladies and gentlemen. You've been warned. This is the man of the hour. This is the man of the hour. We had an episode of Grogu. Yes, we did, ladies and gents. So I thought I would grab my little Grogu. Which, side note, this was made and gifted to me by an amazing artist, Tiffany Flanagan Art. I'll leave her Instagram in the description box because this is better than what Disney sells. This is spectacular, hand painted, hand molded. Fuck Disney. Anyway, yeah. So this is very firmly a Grogu episode, which we kind of knew. We were expecting that, weren't we? Ladies and gents, with respect to what happened in the last episode with the armorer making a miniature chainmail thing for Grogu, Baby Yoda. We knew that was going to be happening, and also because Mando did say, I need to go do something first, and obviously that is to go and drop off the chainmail. So, what happened in this episode? He flies off to the planet. Now, I don't know whether this is the same planet that we see in the sequel trilogy where Luke has his Jedi Academy, his Jedi training school. I don't know. It doesn't look the same, but then we only saw that in a flashback, right? We kind of saw elements of it, and I'm pretty certain I'm wrong in saying that it's anything associated to the same place, but then I'm also kind of thinking, well, I don't know, maybe he just went to exile. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, this new planet, lots of bamboo trees, lush green lakes. It was really nice. It was nice to see something other than a goddamn desert planet. And we see Luke Skywalker training Baby Grogu. And yeah, training Baby Grogu, essentially allowing him to unlock his old memories that he'd repressed because of everything that he'd seen. And it was really interesting. You sort of... The digital effects on Luke Skywalker were great. They really, really do stand up. It's some of the best that we've seen, digitally. I mean, it's not even digitally de-aging because it's a different actor, the body double and things like that. They do a good job. The voice works. It all works, actually. It all stands up pretty well. So he's teaching Grogu, and he's like, oh, do you want to remember your your own people and things? And Luke puts his hand on Grogu's head. My prop. Puts his hand on his head and starts to unlock his memories. But rather than seeing Grogu's own people, what we see is Order 66 and the clones coming in and killing all the Jedis, basically. It was a really good flashback, though. We see Jedis spitting lightsabers, going full pelt, trying to beat off... Sounds wrong. Trying to fend off from the clones coming in and laser blastering them. It was a really good flashback. You got a real sense of what was going on. It did leave me thinking, like, okay, well, how did he survive them? If the clones were literally there killing everyone straight away. Because he sat there and he's seeing it all. So I think to myself, well, maybe he did do something. Maybe he already has a lightsaber. Maybe, I don't know. It was a bit peculiar, really. But that was good. That was a nice little flashback. Lots of Easter eggs in this episode. My God. Lots of Easter eggs. So then from there, we see the addition of the the little training bot, the training orb. And there's flashbacks. There's reminiscent to when Yoda was training Luke, and Yoda was on his back trying to teach him to do the jumping and, running through the forest. And it's the same kind of setup, but it's with Luke, with Grogu on his back. And it's not because Grogu's training him, but because he's taking him places and showing him things and, getting him to feel as one with the Force. And that was a really nice throwback, nice comparison, drawing, good extension of the lore and what we've already seen, basically. I think worked really, really well. And Luke is trying to get him to jump and use the Force to jump. A Force jump. And he says, repeats Yoda's line, don't try, just do. Really, really good. There's lots of throwbacks. Ahsoka's on the planet. Ahsoka meets up with Mando when he gets there and basically says, look, he misses you, he's doing really, really well, but are you giving him this for you? Do you want to see him for you? Or do you want to see him for him? Is this in his best interest? And Mando does the really kind thing of going, you give it to him then, and leaves. And you can see there's that real... You can see that they want to... He emotes so much where it was wearing a bloody helmet. Like, you can see this guy really wants to go see this kid. And just, can't bring himself to do it because he knows what's best for the kid is for him not to do that. So that was really touching. And then we close with basically... on this element anyway, of Luke offering Grogu two things. Yoda's lightsaber or the chainmail. And then Grogu has to make a choice. He chooses one or the other. I.e. one, training with Luke, continuing forwards, being a Jedi, and the other going back to his friend. The Mandalorian. That was really touching. There's throwbacks to Ahsoka. He says, she says, you're so much like your father. And the music that played was so fantastic. It was really, really well done. All of that was excellent. Ahsoka then buggers off. She says, I'm leaving you now. When will I see you again? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Trust your instincts. All this kind of stuff. So lots of throwbacks. Good. It sets up the Ahsoka series, obviously. And then we cut over to Tatooine. So Mando's back. He goes to find Cobb Vanth, I think. Pretty certain that was the chap's name. Timothy Oliphant's character. And offers him, can you come and work for Boba Fett? And your townsfolk as well. He says, I'll think about it, but basically leave now and I'll consider it. Now, interestingly enough, in all of that sequence of events, we see the Krayt Dragon's skull, which is now on the Jawa big vehicle. That was cool. Nice throwback to Mando. And then someone walks out from the sands after Mando's gone, conveniently. It's Cad Bane. It's Cad Bane. It's Cad Bane. Oh, it was epic. It was awesome. They did really good job on that. He kills Vanth. He's dead. And he just walks off. Setting up, of course, I think it's the last episode next week. Very, very interesting stuff. Really good. Great episode. Good episode. Really, really... I loved it. I don't think there was anything I disliked about this episode, to be honest. I'm intrigued to see where they go to round out the series and obviously how this then sets up things moving forwards. It's very clear, like it's an interconnected story now, rather than, we're just telling Boba Fett. I think if they'd led with them... Because the problem is, a lot of people have the... myself included, I said this last week, I said, it's quite telling and indicative of the problems that they've had with respect to trying to rework the movie of Boba Fett into this series, when the best episode doesn't include Boba Fett. I think, that's not a good thing. But I think if they had led with the marketing of this is an interconnected story, and what we're telling here is actually a story which is setting up Mandalorian and the wider story, because they've never said that. I think if they had led with that, I think people would have been much, much more forgiving of Mando coming into the episodes, and you would see it for what it is, which is very, very clearly just a wider story at play. Anyway, also the Pikes blew up the Paradise Bar thing. So she did. She did. Yeah, she did. Definitely sets the stage for a war. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what you think of this episode. Me and Baby Grogu, we loved it. I am a grown man with a Grogu doll. Yes, but again, hand painted, hand sculpted. So me and Baby Grogu, we loved it. Please do let me know your thoughts down below. Thumbs up for Grogu. And also, please do check out... She hasn't asked me to do this, but check out Tiffany Flanagan in the description box. She's great. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care.